While I'm smoking on, Shadell. Oh, my bitch, do I see you, bro?
Back to that breaking news live from Chopper 2, a mass shooting. At least 6 people shot. This all happening at 65th and King Drive in Parkway Gardens.
The age ranges of those people ranging from 14 to 23 years old.
If they ain't from here, don't come here, please don't.
His name is Davon Bennett, a.k.a. King Von. He's been on the streets for too long. I want him off the street today. You guys ready?
Ready, sir. Let's do it.
Alright, fans are really enamored with his storytelling and music videos, but for the life of me, I don't know how King Von is a free man. And while his partner Rondo was toting a bazooka on the gram, King Von was on Twitter arguing with a mortal enemy over how many bodies they each got. And this was trolling the fuck out of the police, right? They couldn't stand it. See, in Chicago, only 20% of murders ever get proven, 80% go unsolved.
20 years for the murders, plus the gun enhancement law, that's 21 years. So that's 41 years just for the murder. And I got 2 attempt murders.
And you beat all those charges. You were acquitted.
Yep, I don't play.
Now the GDs, which stands for Gangster Disciples, are basically just kids running around with a profound hatred for each other, trying to blow each other's heads off. And this shit escalated even further in the 2010s with Chief Keef and the rise of drill music. Chief Keef, Rondo, Lil Reese, Lil Durk, and most of the people who saw success during the height of the drill scene were all black disciples. The Gangster Disciples had very little representation in mainstream music. Their most notable figures were FBG Duck, Lil J, Lil Jojo, so the fact that Chief Keef and O-Block were able to control the airwaves and the popular sound made it so they could put super disrespectful lyrics towards the Gangster Disciples in their songs, and it would become mainstream. The best example is Tooka.
Bitch, I'm off Tooka. Bitch, I'm on Tooka.
Tooka's death became the focal point for a lot of violence because the gang members that killed Tooka then used social media to really insult his memory.
In this case, you have this young man actually in his coffin,
Right.
and this image has also been defiled.
See, Tooka was a deceased 15-year-old boy that Chief Keef and Durk would constantly mock in their songs. And the lyric became so popular, you had rappers like Lil Pump who had nothing to do with the situation. He's from Miami. You had Young M.A. who's from New York, and even NLE Choppa who's from Memphis. They would use Tooka in their songs or in everyday life without even knowing what it meant.
Now, you recently said some shit about Lil Pump.
Mm-hmm.
And he used the Smoking Tooka line?
To this day, he probably think that everything all groovy. But no, when I see you, I'm gonna slap you.
Young M.A. said it in her verse, and then she apologized for it.
And that's all I wanted.
See, the hatred between the GDs and the BDs ran so deep. The feud was so strong. You even got King Von on video teaching a little kid how to shoot a water gun while saying F Tooka.
Fuck Tooka.
Fuck Tooka. Fuck Tooka. Fuck Tooka.
Shoot him in his head. Boom. Fuck Tooka. Say it.
Now the death of this kid Tooka spawned something that was never before seen. A 17-year-old female assassin named Jakira, who created a social media account dedicated to avenging his death.
She was known to her rivals as somebody who was willing to shoot first, ask questions later. It's all over the internet.
Jakira was on social media bragging about the shootings that she had done. She was proud, and she let everybody know. She was very quick to let you know that she was violent and that she was not afraid to shoot somebody.
It was said Jakira was responsible for at least 15 shootings before she herself was eventually killed. Afterwards, a 4chan user hacked her Twitter and leaked DMs showing her and King Von had this weird back and forth where King Von was attempting to romance her in like a mocking way. I don't know, maybe it was real, despite the fact that they were both rival gang members. And she didn't like dudes, she liked girls. But reading the tweets and listening to his interviews, you could tell King Von is a clever, smooth talker, right? He's smooth, but he's also a goddamn demon. A blood trail seems to follow him wherever he goes. And King Von was becoming an infamous figure in the Chicago PD briefing rooms. Oh, they hated him. Police would bring him in for an armed robbery charge, possession of an illegal firearm, and they had suspicions of other stuff that they could never prove. One murder of a kid named Modell, allegedly, according to the internet detectives on Reddit, has King Von's name written all over it. It happened on a Saturday night where 24 other people were wounded across Chicago, but that wouldn't stop King Von from boasting about Modell's death on Twitter all the time. Now finally, in 2014, the police thought they had something. Vaughn and one of his friends were at a crowded house party when a rival GD named Malcolm Stuckey was in the corner mean-mugging them. Vaughn and them took offense, immediately left the party, came back 45 minutes later, shooting at the kid Stuckey, who was outside, along with 2 other people who tried to run. Stuckey was killed, the 2 others were wounded, and King Vaughn and his friend were snatched up by police a couple days later. After 3.5 years, the trial finally started. It lasted a grand total of 5 days. Witnesses couldn't be located. Vaughn kept his mouth shut for the whole 3 years, while his friend confessed to doing the shooting. So, Vaughn beat the case, went home, and his friend got 28 years. As soon as Vaughn was out, the dude he was always arguing with on Twitter, named Wooski, who's a gangster disciple, and his mortal enemy, was attending a funeral at the Bethlehem Star Baptist Church when all of a sudden, an AK-47 pistol, aka a Draco, was whipped out and started spraying into the crowd. Dozens of shots rang off, and Wooski was shot. Now he survived, and King Vaughn was not responsible for this, but that does not stop him from mocking him.
Ain't tryna squash no beef, nigga. We into it till you die, real street nigga. At your funeral, I might just slide. Rest in peace, nigga. Shoot up everybody that's outside. Bet Wooski feel this one. I bet Wooski still twitching. He changed something different. I got clips like Mel Gibson, all full and none empty. I know niggas scared to come around when I pop out outside. I done gave niggas whole head starts and still I hulk them down. That shit crazy. Crump was doing all that woofing, he ain't even make it. Melly got shot in the party, started Harlem Shake. If the